Okay, so last March, if you'll recall, you helped to vote for the individuals that were going to serve on the board of directors for LDS Earth Stewardship. And you might have been wondering what we've been doing that whole time. Well, we've been working really hard to turn LDS Earth Stewardship into an official nonprofit organization. And as part of that process, we have finally finished creating all of the founding legal documents that our organization needs, and we're getting ready to file them with the state of Utah and with the IRS. Now, one of those important documents is the bylaws. These are the rules and regulations that are going to govern the organization as we move forward. And in this video, we're going to give just a brief overview of the key highlights of the bylaws and some of the other plans that we have in the works for the future of LDS Earth Stewardship. Okay, well, let's get started by talking about what the bylaws say about the purpose of the organization. The bylaws state that the mission of LDS Earth Stewardship is to define, explore, promote, and act on the principles of Earth Stewardship. And we should mention that although we are not officially affiliated with the LDS Church, we hope to foster a harmonious and supportive relationship with the Church and its members, as well as members of other faiths. Our goal is to discuss the values of Earth Stewardship from an LDS perspective by promoting educational publications and sponsoring activities that explore these principles. That's the basic gist behind the purpose of the organization. If you want to go into more depth, I'd recommend reading the bylaws themselves and seeing what they say about the purpose of the organization. Alright, let's talk now about what the bylaws say about membership in the organization. Anybody who supports the organization's goals is welcome to become a member. There's currently no membership dues that are required, and all you need to do is just fill out a registration form and promise to donate 1 hour of service to the organization. Now there's two different ways that you can do that. One way is to donate an hour of your time and talents directly to the organization by perhaps serving on a committee or writing a blog entry or helping to plan an activity, anything like that. Or you could pledge to spend an hour of your time acting as a good steward of the earth in your local community. So you could give a talk or teach a lesson in church or to your family about earth stewardship. You could plant a garden, you could help pick up litter on the side of the road, you could use public transportation. Anything that you define as living the principles of earth stewardship can count. So what does becoming a member in the organization actually do? Well, it basically gives you the right to vote in the annual elections, or if you want to serve on the board of directors or one of the committees or things like that. Being a member will also allow you to participate in activities, receive news from the organization, and basically just socialize with other people who share your beliefs in the value of earth stewardship. So yeah, be thinking about signing up with us sometime if that's something that sounds valuable to you. Okay, let's kind of hit the highlights of how the organization is going to be run. On one level, we have the board of directors, which is going to be the main administrative group of the organization. That'll be comprised of about 7 to 11 individuals, and they will serve as officers in the organization, things like the chair, vice chair, treasurer, secretary, executive secretary, that kind of thing. You can read the bylaws if you want more detailed information about that. But in addition to being managed by the board of directors, the organization will also be run by two types of committees: standing committees and ad hoc committees. Standing committees will exist on a permanent basis. Ad hoc committees will exist only on a temporary, as-needed basis. And there will be 3 permanent standing committees: the membership committee, which is in charge of keeping track of membership records and trying to grow the organization. They will also be in charge of making sure that communications between the board of directors and the membership is going well. And the public outreach committee, which will be in charge of all public communications in all types of media, such as print or on the internet. They'll also oversee the activities that are sponsored by the organization. And then we have the finance committee, which will oversee all the matters related to the finances of the organization. Ad hoc committees will be formed on an as-needed basis. For example, any future activities might possibly have a committee. We'll also have an elections committee and a board nominating committee to help with the annual elections. And I'm going to talk more about the elections in just a second. But if you have any interest in serving on any of these committees, or if you have an idea for a future activity that you'd like to help plan, we could really use your help. We're looking for anyone to serve on these committees. So please contact one of the members of the board to volunteer your services if you're interested. Okay, we're almost done. You're amazing if you made it this far through this video, but we are now going to talk about meetings and elections. The bylaws state that we will hold at least 2 community events or activities per year, but we're hoping to hold them on a monthly or bi-monthly basis once we can get the ball rolling on that. The bylaws also state that every fall we will hold our annual membership meeting in conjunction with or around the same time as the October General Conference of the LDS Church. We are actually really excited about the fall meeting, so stay tuned for an announcement about that coming up fairly soon. Okay, so exactly what's going to happen at the fall annual membership meeting? Well, hopefully it's just a time where you can socialize and get together and feel energized and renewed, but also one of the purposes of the fall annual membership meeting is to kick off the annual elections for the board of directors. According to the bylaws, members of the board of directors are elected for 2-year terms, with one half of the board going up for election on even numbered years and the other half going up for election on odd numbered years. And so this fall annual membership meeting will give you a chance to hear who the nominees are, get to know them a little bit better, and then the election will be held within about 1 or 2 months after the fall annual membership meeting. So it's a good idea to try to attend that if you're able to. Okay, well, that concludes the highlights of the LDS Earth Stewardship bylaws. Just FYI, the rest of the bylaws contain in-depth rules and regulations that we need in order to be compliant with federal and state laws for nonprofit organizations. So if you want to read the rules that we've set out for ourselves about our involvement in political activities or about financial conflicts of interest, you're welcome to read the full bylaws that are available on our website. Now, I wanted to mention one last thing which isn't in the bylaws, but that I think is kind of cool, which is that going forward from here on out, the board of directors is going to start choosing an Earth Stewardship theme for every month. So, for example, maybe one month we might focus on species conservation or air pollution or whatever it is we decide to pick. And we hope to organize all of our activities and blog entries and other publications around the theme for that month, and hope that you'll participate in those themes in your own way wherever you live in the world. Alright, thanks for watching the video, and if you want to provide us with any feedback about the bylaws or anything related to that, feel free to drop us a line. We also look forward to having you be more involved in LDS Earth Stewardship in the future. So, thank you very much.